sitting on the sidelines wondering if you should join the only trading room on the planet that will show you not only how to trade, but also develop the algorithms so it can trade on your behalf. You're in the right place. Don't sit there. Don't try to, I don't know, guess. Listen, join. Join. Be a part of the most amazing trading revolution. This is one of the last exploits you have. This is one of the exit doors. This is the place to be for when the largest transfer of wealth happens in human history. You will be ready to profit. And with that being said, Cowboy, let's get into it.
Sure, yeah. We have a few people who actually joined over the weekend and just
Nice.
want to, yeah, we had a few new members, which is great. I went ahead and flashed the QR code on the screen so you can zap that and it'll take you straight to our website. Or, as I did put on earlier, and I will put on again, our URL, www.algofactory.tech. And there's something that V just said that's actually really important. When people start trading, a lot of times, I'd say 10 out of 10 they don't know what they're doing. It's a complex thing, but it doesn't have to be complex, right? So one of the things that that I like to do personally is to take a complex concept and then break it down into understandable segments, if you will. So it's something that I do, is something I've always done, and it's something that I'm trying to do for everybody here. So let me see here. Let's see who's saying hello. We got in the chat. We got Mavbet, Trev, Moron. That name cracks me up, Moron. We got a Valentine. We got someone waving there, but it's not saying the name. I hate when it does that. Robert's waving at us.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gigi,
Yeah, that's
Valley
right.
Girl. Well, we got everybody hopping in on a Monday. That's great. This looks like maybe some people got out on vacation. We got Mary Ellen Bradley. Good morning. How are you? And Mary Ellen's over in the YouTube chat. And everybody come join us on the YouTube and give us that thumbs up as well. That does help us out as far as the algorithms are concerned. It was an interesting thing. Trev, okay, so here's the thing, Trev. For streaming on the Telegram now, you have to go to the Algo Factory Live Lab. It used to be on the Algo Factory main, but we've moved the stream over to the Algo Factory Live Lab. So go over there and look for it on the top where it says Algo Factory main, and you'll find it. Jay, in fact, you know what? I just want to check with everybody in our private group, YouTube. So YouTube, hold on for a second. Are there other people in the live group who are not able to see the stream? Because I'm pretty sure the stream is working.
Can't hear Oli.
Heat clicking? I don't even know what that means.
Can't hear here.
Only here
clicking. Okay.
Clicking, that's weird. This should be
YouTube streaming, nothing on Telegram for me.
Yeah, there's a couple people saying they're having issues, but Jay just can't find it. No stream on Telegram, huh? Well, it's supposed to be streaming. Let's see here. Let's see which you're correct. No, it's on the right one. Look, here's the thing, everybody.
Yeah, go to the main.
Go to the Algo Factory main. So it used to be that if you're looking at the channel that says Algo Factory main, we used to stream there. Now we're actually streaming over at the Algo Factory Live. Okay.
The Live Lab, correct?
The Live Lab, yeah, the Live Lab channel. So we're not streaming on the Algo Factory main anymore.
It actually showing me that it says we're streaming on Algo Factory main.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a problem. I can fix that pretty quick.
Yeah.
Hold on. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Right. Let me end the live stream there.
Yep.
And we'll start streaming here.
There we go.
Okay, I guess that's on me. So I was doing it the old way. All
right, cool. Yeah, we're good.
Good to go. All right. Can you see it on there? Oh, yeah. You know what? That's because I should have been able to see it. All right. Sorry, guys. All right. Back to the show. Fun technical errors. Let us look real professional over there on YouTube. So we are now... let me see. It's going to be a good week for trading because we have a lot of U.S. data coming out before the market.
And before the market coming on Thursday too.
Oh, good, nice. We got some Thursday drips coming. That's lovely. So just for those of you who may not understand, via the Gorilla, you're rather well connected And when you deal at the levels that you're dealing with, say, precious metals and kind of the larger crypto over-the-counter transactions with your overseas people, when you deal at that level, you tend to get some information, just because people who deal at that level, the reason they have that money is because they have that information, right? That's kind of a simplistic view, but I think it applies. And so on Thursdays, when V is able to get some special information, he will kind of let that information out on Thursdays. And it's pretty exciting show. It's not information that he will let out anywhere else. Like, he won't do it on his Rogue show. He won't do it on this live show. Only on the private Thursdays with Algo Factory. I think we have people who've actually signed up with us just to get that information.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. That's really cool. So, and I mean, some of the stuff that he said has been pretty mind blowing on prior Thursdays. So, are you going to rate it at a 1, 2, 3 below your mind Thursday? What do you say? 1 or 3?
One, which is the high score, 1 or 3?
Well, it's your show, bro. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna say 3 is the high score on that one.
On a scale of 1 to 10, Thursday's drip is definitely going to be I like to use a 1 to 10, so let's just say it's an 8.5.
Man, that's pretty good, man. When you talk about earthquakes, an 8.5 will rip up your city.
Yep. It's gonna be an 8.5 this Thursday.
Nice. That's beautiful. Well, we'll look forward to that. Thursday's a great show. Today, like I said, a lot of the market events are happening before the market opens, so that's a really advantageous thing. So when you're trading something like, look, our program is such that we help build traders, build them from scratch, or we'll take an experienced trader and help them reconfigure so that they are more successful. You do have a lot of experienced traders who go through like a slump. That happens, so we help those type of traders get out of that slump. And I've been that person. Like, every single professional trader who's ever traded, or I don't know. It's so funny, like the term professional trader. What does that even mean? Let's put it this way: anybody who's traded for a living, whether you work for some big muckety muck company, or whether you're a piker who just works for his own money, or whether you work at like a prop desk when somebody gives you an allocation, whatever your story is, everybody goes through a slump. Okay, it happens. And so what can be a good idea is to kind of step back and just kind of reevaluate at that time. A lot of times that slump, in fact, I would say 8 out of 10 times, that slump is probably going to be because of trading psychology. You're not applying your formula properly. Your biases are affecting you, and you're starting to take trades that you really shouldn't take. And so generally, if you have a good trading method, otherwise known as an algorithm, then you should be able to be successful over time. You might lose a few trades in the row. It does happen, but generally over time, you're successful, right? So there's a lot that goes along with that, but these courses on the screen on our website, which is www.algofactory.tech, those courses right there are going to teach you all these things. You got the essentials course, which is the basics, the algorithmic structure course, which basically it teaches you trading methods. Okay, so don't get scared of the word algorithm. Doesn't mean it has to be something that is programmed and automatically, some crazy computer thing. Look, it's just a trading method. Even if you're old school trading, whether you know it or not, you're using an algorithm. It's just a word. And then you have operations course, which is actually super important. In fact, a lot of people who don't understand how to treat their trading like a business, they lose all of their money because they don't understand how to conserve capital. They don't understand how to measure their trades properly. There's a lot that goes into trading like a business, because that's exactly what it is. And then there's the ethos course, which is trading psychology. Okay, and this literally, as it says on the website, it will make or break a trader. Developing an algorithm, especially if you dedicate a few hours a day to it, if you really have that dedication, you can have an algorithm in a few months that's actually successful, tested, and live tested and everything. Within, I don't know, it depends on, like, say, how much time you have, but a few months, it can happen. For some people, it takes longer because maybe they work 10 hours a day and they're just able to devote an hour or two, whatever that might be. But under any circumstance, having a technical ability to trade and that algorithm dialed in, that right there is something that can happen fast. What does not happen fast for most people is the trading psychology. And it's mostly because they don't even look at it. People think, well, what do I need the psychology for? I have a good algorithm. I can hit this button and this will happen. Well, here's the problem with that. you're a human being hitting a button, and fear and greed are big parts of that. And so a lot of times people, once they win a few in a row and they're getting super confident, and so they would go ahead and they take a risk that they shouldn't take. So that will actually begin to be a problem for traders. Or maybe not only do they get super confident and take a trade they should not take, maybe they take a trade that they should take, but they put too much money on that trade and it just doesn't go their way. Because I don't care how good your trading method is, the market will go against you every so often. And it's statistically predictable. It's what we help people to do, is to understand that whole statistical aspect of trading. Whatever your number is, so let's just say 65 or 70% of the time you're successful. If you know that and you have like 8 wins in a row, you're going to start thinking that you've cracked the code and you got the holy grail, and then you put 4 times as much money on number 9 and you erase half the gains that you just made. So these are the things that the trading psychology will help you to kind of avoid. And we teach all that stuff over at www.algofactory.tech, and that URL is on the screen. So we got here, Moron says, question, class videos recommend trading 2% of book. Well, we don't recommend trading 2% of the book. What we do is we trade 2% of our book. So you need to decide what's good for you. We actually don't recommend anything, and we don't give any kind of investment advice. And before you invest, what you really should do is talk to your licensed investment advisor, because you can lose all your money in trading or investing. So the disclaimer out of the way. Question is, let's just say 2%, right? Let's just say we're trading 2% of our book. How many trades should a new trader take at a time? And what do you park your cash into? That's actually a really good question from a guy who calls himself moron. You don't really sound like a moron. So basically, if you are trading 2% of your book and you put more than 2% of your book in a given asset, right, then you're starting to, look, one easy answer to that is you have to test how that works for you. So you got to back test how many times you can pyramid, let's say. And what I mean by pyramiding is, let's say that you're taking a trade on EUR USD, right? Well, if you take a trade on EUR USD and then you take another trade on EUR USD, you now have 4% of your money instead of 2 on that, basically on the same type of trade. It's on the same asset. So if things go against you in that asset, now you're putting at risk 4% of your book. Okay, so if you have a trading method that has a certain level of success, then you should be able to determine whether or not that's a good idea, and that's only done by back testing. So, a new trader, I'd say really what a new trader should be doing is not trading. A new trader should be back testing, right? And then a new trader, once 200 back tests are done, or if you're on, like, say, if you're on a high time frame, like a daily chart, maybe you can only go back with 5 or 10 years worth of data. Maybe there's not 200 trades to look at. But once your back testing is done, then you would be forward testing for about 100 trades. If you're on a daily time frame, that might not work out, because now you're looking at like 5 years into the future before you're making any money. You might have, on a daily chart, you might have to only go like a couple months and see how that goes for you. But at any rate, that testing period, you're not doing 2% or any that of your book. Whatever your number you're comfortable with, whatever your testing tells you can do, which 2% is a popular number, I personally would do a quarter of that on a new algorithm, right? So I would be risking 0.5% of the book during that testing time. So that would be, quote unquote, a new trader who has just started trading live and live testing. I would be doing toy money that I don't care if I lose, maybe even 10% of my normal trade, which would be 0.2% of the book. So that's how I would do that. And then if I'm doing like a low time frame situation, like the 15-minute or even that kind of thing, I would go 100 trades, and I would go 100 trades at 25% of my regular size. My regular size was 2%. Obviously, we're looking at 0.5% of the book. So that's how to handle that. You back test to get a basic number, and then you live test to ease into it. And then once your live testing is going to give you a more realistic number than the back testing. And then you're going to have an idea of how that works. And if you want to risk more than 2%, that's up to you. I know 2% is kind of a general wisdom out there. I've seen people who do 5%. Those are people who've been generally trading for a lot longer, and they have their algorithm to a point where they're almost intuitive with trading because they've just been doing it for so long. Personally, if I'm going to use intuition, though, it's going to be like only as a filter for bad trades. So I generally don't use quote unquote intuition or feel unless it's to say I don't like this trade. Like the only time I get into a trade, even now, has to do with the rules being met. I don't have any intuition that says go. I have intuition that says stop. So I know that's beyond your question, Moron, but that's just another point to make. So it is the beginning of the week, so we'll take a look at the calendar for the week. Tuesday, August 1st. Okay, so today we have no news really from the U.S. There's like nothing from this point forward. We had a little stuff overnight from the Euro for their CPI, but that was an estimate, and that occurred already before the market opened. And before market open on Mondays, I generally don't trade. The only time I trade at all on Monday is if there's a fair amount of volatility, usually at market open, which is happening in 40 minutes. And then we have Tuesday. We've got 8 a.m. So that's actually after market open, but it's ISM manufacturing PMI, which has to do with, I think it's a diffusion index. Let me see. Yeah, based on surveyed purchasing managers. So there's some manufacturing data that comes out at 8 a.m., which is 10 a.m. EST tomorrow, which is an hour, it's like 30 minutes after open. And then you have the JOLTS job openings, which is going to be at that same time. So some data is going to come out, and that data may conflict. So what I would do trading tomorrow would be to let the market open personally. What I would do, you guys do what you're going to do. I would let the market open, see how this data plays out. And again, with news events, I generally wait until the shock from those events has gone through the market and been digested before I go ahead and trade again. And for lesser events, that could be pretty fast. That could be 15 minutes. It's just what I usually look for is the market to resume whatever direction it was going to take in a higher time frame. That's usually how that goes. If the higher time frame bias was short, then I would let all the, kind of hard wicks and all the candles act a little crazy there for however long they do. And then when things look like they're going to resume based on my algorithm, I'm like, okay, I could get into trading now, right? And look for the rules to be met. And that's just how that works. And on Wednesday, nice and early, they have the non-farm employment change. I know that seems to be a little hotter of a ticket than it used to be. And what I mean by that is that tends to affect the market a little more than it used to. The numbers that have come out in the last several months have been positive. So more people being hired in the non-farm sectors, everything but farming. That now, whether or not that number is really good in reality, what these statistics don't reflect doesn't matter in trading, right? So we're not going to get into the philosophical kind of conversation that we could get into about these numbers are fudged, blah blah blah. None of that matters. What matters is how these numbers affect the market, and the market and most people generally will believe these numbers just because people believe what they're told. And so we move with what the numbers say. Last month was a very high number. And so that probably caused a notable move. We can look back if we want to at June 1st and at July 6th and see how that went. But basically, if the number is greater than forecast, good for the currency. So if the non-farm payroll on Wednesday is higher, if more people are being hired than we expect, than we forecasted, that means that a lot of assets might take a kind of a hit, and not necessarily a big one, but at least a temporary hit, right? And it might make sense because the equities market and everything else was, in some people's opinion, overshooting. There's been a lot of bullishness in the equities. So to have something cool it off might make some sense. But then again, who knows? No one knows the future, and no one can. I really don't try to say, oh, well, we expect it to be. I don't worry about that. I let the news happen, and then I let the candles stop being crazy and resume whatever direction they're going to go as far as the high time frame is saying, and then I look for entries. That's simple. I don't worry about the details. Unemployment claims, that's I think that's a monthly statistic, and that comes out again 1 hour before the market open on Thursday, and then there's the more manufacturing data coming out at 8 a.m. So Thursday might be a little bit tricky. You might have to wait until 10 a.m. EST to look for some trades. See about that. And then I probably wouldn't do. I would do swing trades before that, but I probably wouldn't do any day trades before that. So it's just day trades are in and out really quick, and they can be violated by low time frame noise, which is what these news events really cause. A swing trade that is properly given room to move, then that can withstand these shocks. But again, I probably wouldn't take a swing trade just before an event like this. But if I was already in one from, say, the day before, I wouldn't worry quite as much about it. Then, of course, Friday, we do have some more data at 6:30 a.m. Non-farm employment change, right? So what was this one before? I thought that was already non-farm. Let's see. Let's make sure I'm looking at the right date too. Okay, so the employment change quarter over quarter. Oh, no, that's New Zealand. ADP non-farm. Okay, so this is the same data, just from different sources. Wednesday is going to be the 6:15 a.m. data coming from ADP, which is automatic data processing, right? So that's a company with private data. And then on Friday, the non-farm employment change data is actually coming from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So you're going to get the government version. So who knows how that's going to work out, but you get the data twice, one private, one public. Who do you trust? Who knows? Who's bought out? Who knows? At any rate, what matters is the number, and we're going to see what that number is. So Friday is going to have that data, and it's all going to be an hour before the market opens. So then we'll see some action, and then whatever the market does afterwards, when it resumes the whatever the high time frame bias is, that's when I would be looking for trades. So there is a fair amount of data this week, and as I said, most of it is happening before the market open, which is nice. You get the couple of 10 a.m. EST sort of zingers that can play games with your trading, but we know what those are. We know how to deal with that. At least I know how I deal with that. If you want to, gamble and play the news events, I mean, I'm not going to stop you. I can't. You got to make your own decisions. We don't tell you how to trade. But understand that if you're going to trade the news events, according to some people, are there to allow the big players to basically run everybody's stops. So if you're going to try to gamble, know that like the big players, they have access to all the data. They know where the stop losses are. They have the $20,000 a month Bloomberg terminal with the level infinity quotes that can tell you everything you want to know. So, if you're going to try to play against the whales, my opinion is that unless you are extremely technically savvy, and can move markets, then I probably wouldn't be messing with trading news. It's just the way I do things. Do what you want to do. I hope that all helps, though. It's a nice week preview, and it's getting about time to head over to the private chat only and go ahead and shut YouTube off. So, Gorilla, can you give us that send off?
Absolutely. Listen, folks. Look, if you're sitting on the sidelines, stop sitting on the sidelines. Join us every day right in the members only live lab. Learn how this amazing system that we have here can radically change your life. With that being said, Cowboy, let's get into it.